What's going on, Wes?
What's going on, Brian?
That didn't sound southern enough.
No, I wasn't even going to attempt it. I'm not even going to attempt it, Brian.
Oh.
Because I love Wes, and I just don't agree with doing impressions, people.
Oh, okay.
It's against my my spiritual upbringing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good. What spiritual upbringing is that?
The Church of come on, improv club.
Yeah.
Come on, improv.
The best.
Improv group. Sorry, improv group. It's Church of
This is going well.
Self voice love.
Okay. I would like to join your church.
Well,
are there membership dues?
Yeah, there are. It's a very exclusive club. I'm actually the only one in it at the moment. I don't know why.
Fantastic.
Probably because it hasn't really got much of an identity.
I
need to work on it.
The Satanic Church is just so much cheaper. I'm going to stick with that for now.
That is true.
Let's go. You ready to do a show today, Myles?
Yeah, let's do this.
Let's go. This is PSVR GAMESCAST Live. We film live every single Monday, Wednesday? No, Monday, 2 Wise Wednesday, and
Myles Day.
West.
Two Wise
Day.
Wise Day. It's gonna be 2 Wise Day.
My name is Brian Poffnish, right here with Parole, and with me this Wednesday, dude. I legit. This is how much having a different co-host screws me up. Legit was looking for a clip of the week before we started the stream. Right? I was like,
well, at least you're extra prepared for Friday now.
No, we don't have any good clip of the week. So if anyone has a good clip of the week, make sure you upload it on our Discord in the clip of the week channel. Maybe you'll close out Friday's show. Who knows? My name's Brian Poffnish right here, and this guy over here to my left. You're right. It's Myles Dyer from YouTube.com/ I'm not supposed to do impressions. Myles.
Wow, that was a good one, man. I thought I was literally getting a bit of feedback of my own microphone. What up, Game Cats? What up, Brian? It is Wednesday. I actually feel like I got more energy because by the end of the week, I am knackered. That's not a word that you use in America, is it?
Snackered, I think, is the appropriate word.
Really?
Then you can feel tired, but also need a little sugar.
Little snack. Sugar. Nice little bit of snacks. Yeah, that's cool. Just want to say massive love to Wes. I wasn't able to do Friday's show, so I asked if we could do some swapsies, and he was like, "Yeah, Friday would be good for me." So yeah, that's why you've got me instead of Wes. To be honest, when I saw the title of this video of this live stream, I was starting to think, actually, maybe I would have rather Wes was taking this because I was seeing all the comments and I was like, wow, you got to go grill Wes. And to be honest, I'm super hyped for this. I actually just did my Wednesday live show, Myles Dyer Live, which was all about, talked about it on like Friday's show of like what it's like behind the scenes working on a VR game showcase. But it was like a full hour of talking about yesterday's show, of the thought process behind everything and, you know, what it's like. And of course, I got asked questions about all the announcements. So I think I'm well trained now to answer them. But at the end of the day, look, I'm a fan of VR like you guys, and I really loved the interview you did with conversation. Interview's too formal. I love the conversation you had with Jamie at the end of the VR Game Showcase.
Poor Jamie.
Well, you say poor Jamie. This is why I spoke to Jamie about it. I was like, this is why I love both of you. I said, I love Brian because he will always just say what he thinks. And like right out the gate, you were like, yeah, it was pretty underwhelming, and here's the reasons why. And it's like, that is why I love you, Brian. Like, people know exactly what they get with you, and you're just totally, you put it out there. And the reason I love Jamie is he knows that's how you are.
Yeah.
And he still comes on there and he's like, yeah, fair enough. And this is what I think. And I was like, this is why you two are like some of my favorite people in the VR space, because you just have a real conversation and you're both doing so much for the VR space. And I thought it was a really, really good conversation. So although you said poor Jamie, I thought it was a really, really good conversation. And it wasn't as if He'd literally just got off camera doing the showcase, and then he had to hear that. Like, he just had to press a play button. He wasn't doing any other work or anything like that. He was sitting back having a cigar, probably.
But I know how it is. I know how it is because I've done, you know, the award shows prior, you know, and they take a full month of your life, and it's around the clock, and you're constantly in touch with, like, you know, 50 different people, and you're making changes to the last second, and it's a ton of work. And then some dickhead who has a YouTube channel goes, yeah, it wasn't very good. It's like, go fuck yourself, right? And I'm saying that about myself. Go fuck yourself, Brian. Like, it's like there was so much work put into that show. That's like, and so hopefully I was able to.
But you clarified all that in the conversation. You did go through. You did mention all that. Like,
Oh, and I you know, because I do see both sides of it. I see, like, there's sirens on my end. There's like 3 different sides of it, right? There's the side of the person who's making the show, who put so much work and effort into it, and ultimately for a VR showcase, it was a good show, right? But then there's the people who, you know, don't keep up with VR, and this is, you know, maybe the first time they've tuned into VR news for the, you know, in 6 months, 12 months, who knows? And they're like, whoa, that Ace of Thunder shit looks cool. Oh my God, Poppy Playtime. This is awesome. You know, like, the VR's on fire is what I would take away from that showcase if I didn't have my finger on the pulse of VR, right? If I was just tuning in. And so, because I mean, unlike an Upload VR showcase where everything looks like Walkabout Mini Golf, nothing against Walkabout Mini Golf, you'd be like, oh man, why does VR still look like it's the same as it was 10 years ago? Like, nothing's changed in VR, right? And so at least Jamie's show shows that things have changed and that things are getting better. But then there's me and the people who are in this community who are, like, looking specifically for PSVR2 stuff and already knew about a lot of the games that were being shown. And I gotta be honest, Myles, I think there were a couple things that could have been presented better, or a couple of things that, like, if maybe we push the developers. Like, did you know that ExoShock is also planned to come to PSVR2?
I mean, to be honest, I still haven't watched the VR game showcase yet. and this is literally what it's like when you're working on the other side of it, like with the announcements. I mean, it's one of those examples of I assumed, but this gets to the point that you talk about, which is we always assume that even if it's not announced yet, it will eventually come to PSVR 2. But we don't want that as PSVR 2 gamers. We want it up front and center. It's coming to all these platforms. And I totally get the frustration. And I know that some of this will be some of the questions that I'm asked about Flat to VR Studio games, which is why when we first did our announcements last year, similar time last year, at Gamescom, we had Trombone Champ. It was, I think it was Flatout. And then what was the other one? I think it was 3 go. Oh, it was Wrath. And with all of them, it would say, like, PlayStation VR 2, Steam VR, Meta Quest, and it was this real sense of solidarity of, like, no one left behind. And it's great. But also, among many projects that we're doing in the games of, like, Surviving Mars and Outside VR, you know, they're going to come to PSVR 2. It's just that, like, in early access and development, we decided that we should go out with them early here. So it's not always going to be all the time. That can only speak for what we're offering. But I understand the frustration when you look at a show and it's just like, man, just again, like, why is it so hard to just say PSVR 2, even if you just say that the intention is there, even if you're not, you know, because this has been done before. It was done with, been done with loads of games before where it will say, I think we did it with Outside when we announced it, coming in early access to Steam VR, and then coming soon to PlayStation VR 2 and Meta Quest, if I've got that right. So you can do it in 2 phases. You can say, this is when it's coming out on this platform, and we still have a roadmap for this.
And just say later. You don't have to say coming soon to PSVR 2 or coming in 2025. Just say coming later to PSVR 2. We get it as PSVR 2 gamers. We understand the difficulties that it and cost that it takes developers to make a PSVR 2 game. So yeah, like you said, it's just share the intention with your audience, and I think you get a much better result. But anyway. Really, besides the point, decent showcase overall. Again, if you get your finger on the pulse of what's happening on PSVR2, if you're a regular viewer of this channel, then you are probably very familiar with most of the games that they showed. But then you dive in a little bit deeper afterwards, and you know the developers are out there on Twitter saying, yeah, Exoshock is definitely planned for PSVR2. But this is our focus right now. And Exoshock looks good. Even during the showcase, I was like, man, if this came to PSVR2, I would definitely check it out because it looks great. And I think this is a fantastic trailer. So very happy that one is making its way over. I thought the Hidden Memories of a Garden Between was a strange kind of like, oh, and it's out right now. Hold on, let me just bring up my gameplay of this. So Hidden Memories of the Garden Between is was showcased on the showcase. It's out now. Which is always interesting. It's always kind of exciting when there's a game like that. When it's a game like this, though, when it's this game specifically, I was like, I don't know, maybe this is the best they could have done in terms of like making some noise for their release, because it really is like, I mean, I spent an hour with it today. It very much for me at least, kind of a 6 out of 10 puzzle game. But you better sit the fuck down. Relax, really. Right? Yeah, because I mean, it's just like, listen, there's not a lot of like first person interactions, and in fact, most of what you're seeing here, you're seeing these characters walk around, and I was like, ooh, nice, another third person VR game. We need more of those, right? I love third person VR games. What you're seeing is these kind of canned animations, like pre-scripted animations, and all you're doing is pushing the analog stick left and right to kind of like move time forward and move time backwards, and then changing a couple different things here and there in order to progress the puzzle forward. So sometimes you have to reverse time, but there are things that don't change when you move time. Kind of like Braid, a little bit, Braid Light. It's fine. It's like I said, it's like a 6 out of 10. If it was like $7 or $8, I'd be like, yeah, why not? This could be a fun little platinum to waste a little time and go play.
How does it look in the headset? I mean, the art style looks beautiful. Does it look crystal clear?
Nope. No, it's soft, and when I say soft, I'm always saying the same thing. Like I mean soft in the sense that like Walkabout Mini Golf is soft, right? And so if you think of that as like super sharp, then you're good to go. But this kind of uses just the default native resolution and doesn't use 2x super sampling in the focal spot or anything like that. Not using DFR as far as I can tell. It just looks fine, right? And it's all teleportation, which again, it's third person game, so you're just getting different vantage points for those characters that are walking through the scene. The funny thing is it doesn't take advantage of PSVR2 really in any regard, Myles. It feels like it's not using the deep blacks of the OLED panel. Like it feels like it's a straight port from a Quest game because it's very gray. The colors do not pop at all, right? Which is like what like I don't know what it takes to like push the saturation up a little bit, push the contrast up a little bit like during the port, but man, they didn't do that. I don't know. The most fun I had was that there are like it's called Hidden Memories, so you feel like there's going to be some kind of hidden object aspect to it. And as you can see what I'm doing here, there are, if you look around the scene, things that you kind of grab in first person out of the environments, and then you put them in this book to kind of fill in the story of these two characters a little bit. So maybe if that aspect of it progresses the way that that's been progressing, I could see that maybe they could become a little bit more charming and you get a little bit more connection to these characters. But in the first hour, there's nothing. It's really kind of lackluster. And
it's a VR first game, or is it a port from Flat?
I had never heard of it before this.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even tell you. My assumption is that it's probably on another platform. Was it Hidden Memories? Oh, here it is.
It looks cute.
So it looks like it came out on Steam 5 days before the PSVR2 version. So
right. That's a quick port. That was quick porting.
It's a very quick port. But I may have played all I'm going to play of this one. Yeah, it's fine.
Nice.
Myles, what have you been up to, man?
What have I been up to, Brian? I have been in a hole just freaking out about the VR game showcase, which we can talk more about in a bit. It honestly has been just wild because I mentioned this on Friday that in March, I was just sort of, we had awesome trailers made, and then we were just doing the social media, which was very stressful. Whereas this time it was doing the social media as well as I was coordinating like the 4 announcements and with the content team and deciding how we were going to communicate each of the announcements and stuff like that. And it's been an amazing process and very eye-opening. It's also the way that you work with developers and, you know, getting the messaging right. And there's just so many moving parts. And yeah, it was just a real pinch me moment to be on a VR game showcase alongside like Polyarc and all these great developers that I admire, and to sort of be alongside them is pretty incredible. So yeah, that was a big part of it. And then at the weekend, dude, I was just chilling. I had a self-care day on Sunday. I went to the barbers and I had like the full shebang. I was like, just whatever the full thing is. And it was an hour of, he literally got some like cotton buds and he had like warm wax on them and he just stuck them up my nose and then in my ears. And I literally said,
wait. This was. Are you sure you didn't go to the doctors on accident? What happened? What was this?
No. I'm going to show you a photo.
I don't know if this is safe for. Is this NSFW?
It's pretty what? Can you see this?
Hold on, I'm going to go full screen on you.
See that?
Are you sure you're not getting like a Halloween costume made or something?
That's what I thought. He literally could have put a pineapple on my head. And I'd have been like, yeah, whatever. So they put the warm wax in your nose and in your ears, and then when it hardens, they pull it out. And it didn't hurt. I was worried a bit of brain was going to come out or something like that. But yeah, so I got really smooth skin. It was nice. Would I do it again? Probably not regularly, but yeah, I don't know. That was my Sunday. Oh, and then I went for a nice walk. I went for a flotation tank. Saw my family. All very relaxing things. And then what's the best way to end a nice relaxing Sunday? Going to the movie theaters by yourself to see a horror movie. And I went,
you saw Weapons?
Yeah.
Yo. That's dude, going to the
I don't
movie
want I don't want
Yeah,
I don't want to spoil anything for people like Barbarian, which I loved, although I definitely think it had a weaker third act. This is a movie that you should go into blind. And I think you were telling me this.
What's up?
But I agree with the sentiment, whether it was you or someone else. This kind of feels like what Longlegs should have been.
It feels like because of the 3 acts of Longlegs and the way that this was set up with, you know, jumping from character to character, it felt more like Longlegs. People were like, "Oh, is it better than Barbarian?" I was like, maybe it probably is, but it's definitely better than Longlegs. Like the comparison is closer between this and Longlegs for sure.
Longlegs, and I'm not going to give spoilers. People saying no spoilers. Longlegs was a movie where it was an enjoyable experience, but it's one of those things where I was like, it just didn't go anywhere. And look, movies don't have to. For me, I like a movie that makes me go, oh wow, like, oh, that was a cool idea. For me, it was like, okay, that was a cool experience. It was very suspenseful. There were some creepy moments and stuff. All of that, I would say, is in Weapons, except I think it's executed very, very well. It's a 2-hour movie. It did not feel like, to me, 2 hours. And again, I'm not going into any specifics, but third acts are always, I think, for a lot of horror movies as well, are usually where things fall apart. And my theory on that is because I don't know if that's the same for horror games, to be honest. Because I never get to the third act in horror games, but it's I think it's because like what makes horror enticing is the intrigue of like the unknowing, and so if you're going to have a third act which wraps things up, it's naturally going to be less satisfying than the first 2 parts, like the first 2 acts that precede it. The third act of Weapons, again, I'm not going into any specifics. I enjoyed it, and I thought, okay, I enjoyed it. It's definitely a bit weaker, but how it ended, again, without going into specific, I left the movie theater thinking that was a really good time. I really enjoyed that. It was a really good time. And so I gave it, because after you mentioned it, I went back on Letterboxd and and actually while I was waiting for Weapons to start, I quickly did my review of Fantastic Four that I saw a couple of weeks ago. I was like, oh yeah, Brian, we need to start doing this again. And then I reviewed Weapons, and I gave it a 4 out of 5, but I probably enjoyed it more like a 4.5 out of 5. And I kind of want to go and see it again. I want to take my dad, because I also think it's a movie that I don't think it's right to say, is it a horror movie? It's a horror movie, but it's kind of like, I think it would appeal to non-horror fans, even though it has horror tropes in it that do it to the extremes of like when horror really goes for it, whether it's, I'm not even going to say, I think it does it really well, but it is just a very intriguing thriller, isn't it, as well?
Yeah. I mean, like, there's definitely some spooky moments. You can tell they threw a couple jump scares in there just to appease people like me that are like, when's the scary stuff coming?
Yeah.
You could almost tell like that somebody had watched it like before it came out and said, it's not scary enough. We need to add like just a little bit here, a little bit there. And I think they added just enough to make people like me happy. But you're right. I do think that it doesn't feel like a horror movie, especially when all is said and done. And yeah, I mean, definitely. Whereas Barbarian was so strong for the first 2 acts, and then sort of became a little bit generic near the end. I felt like this was so even keeled the entire time. I was kind of not on the edge of my seat, but like if it was an extra hour long, I would have been fine with it. Like I'll
that's such a good point. The only thing I say, and I promise, just because people worry as I'm going to start saying this sentence, I'm not saying anything specific about the plot. The cinematography in this movie is incredible. And when I say this, Brian, you probably know what I'm going to be talking about. There is one shot in the movie which just hangs maybe 90 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
And that gave... I'm getting chills. I say this every time I'm talking about. I'm getting chills now. That was so unnerving. And it starts off where people in the theater were like laughing at it. And then you heard a sense of tension and like dread. And like that cinematography stuff, it doesn't have to be quick cuts. Sometimes you just let the camera roll. And there was cinematography of like following people from behind, like if they're walking down a shop between aisles. I just thought the cinematography was really good. I like the music. I thought the acting was great. There was obviously a great cast, but like they've obviously got it's about a school, so there was a kid actor in it who I thought was really, really good. And I was intrigued. I was really intrigued all the way through it. As you say, it could have gone on longer and I'd have been happy with it. I highly recommend it. I think even if you don't end up enjoying it, I still recommend you seeing it because I like having that discussion. There was someone I knew who went to it and gave it like a 2 out of 5 and just said it's another example that Zach Crager is just not good when it comes to third acts. And I strongly disagree with it, whilst also understanding why people might not like the third act. Yeah,
I mean, listen, if I had my way, would I make changes? Yes, but they'd be very minor, very minor changes. Yeah, listen, I left thinking I was like solid 8 out of 10, but it's the kind of movie that sticks with you, and I guarantee you that by next week you're going to be like 9 out of 10, right? Because that's kind of where I am now, like because I do want to see it again. There's so many scenes that just stick in my head. I'm like wow, that is so much better than I was giving it credit for at the time because they're still they just fucking live rent free for the last week. So very happy with that movie.
That's so good, man.
Myles, only because I don't want to spend the whole time talking about weapons. And fuck PSVR too. We don't have time for that shit today. Did you get to see any Alien Earth last night?
Dude, this is why I'm like so sad. When you messaged me earlier, I've been dying to see it.
Yeah.
But I just had since still working on VR Game Showcase stuff post. So I'm hoping to watch some tonight. If not tomorrow, I'm gonna have quite a chill one on Friday. It's 2 episodes they've launched, right?
Yeah, an hour each, so it's like a full 2 hours of new Alien content.
That's like a movie.
I mean, dude, I gotta tell you, like I was about halfway through, or maybe not even. I was like just starting the 2nd episode, and I was like, this is the best Alien content we have gotten since Alien Isolation. Like as far as I'm concerned, it's better. It's far better than Rogue Incursion, the game. It's far better. Like I liked Romulus, but like Romulus again, the ending is not great. And so I'm like, even just taking the first 2 episodes at face value, not even knowing where they're going with the next 8 episodes, 6 episodes, whatever it is, I'm so happy with what we got. It tells a sci-fi story. So I've said this all day today. Hopefully I can remember what I said so I can repeat it properly. But like with Prometheus, they created a sci-fi story that felt so lame and so generic and so just cookie cutter. Like if it didn't have xenomorphs, it would have been just terrible. This is completely the opposite. This tells an amazing sci-fi story that actually doesn't need xenomorphs in it, And so when the xenomorphs are there, it's just a fucking bonus, right? They're firing on all cylinders with this show so far. And so again, no spoilers, but I could not be any happier with the first 2 episodes. It's a lot of it's slow. Make sure you have some popcorn and you know, cuddle up in bed and shit, right? Just like be prepared to. It's a slow start, but the payoff is so worth it.
It was so funny being in the cinema for Weapons, and in the trailers they had like an Alien Earth trailer, and at the end it's like coming to Disney Plus, and it's just like, you know, we think about Disney Plus, it's like Alien is now a part of Disney. Like, you imagine kids going to Disneyland and here's a xenomorph, go and have a photo with it. Can I have your autograph? I'm super hyped for it, and I mean, what a time to be a fan of Alien. Like, regardless of what you think of these properties, like Alien Romulus, Rogue Incursion, to have this, and it seems to be happening with Predator, right? Is having an insurgency and stuff. A Predator VR game. I know there was the flat screen game that didn't do particularly well, but a Predator VR game would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if Prey itself was a VR game, right? Like, just, I mean, I know that's a very specific story in the Predator universe, but it's the one I've liked the most so far. If that itself was a VR game, amazing. I would take that in a day. Take that in a day? Is that an expression? I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, hopefully next week, Myles, we can get more of the cats to have seen Alien and Weapons, and
yes,
and maybe
this
we can
is
get
the new movie club, movie and TV show club.
Dude, I got to get back on Letterboxd, because, like you said, it's just it's so satisfying to, like, just, you know, check that off your list when after you've watched the movie or something, and be like, these are my thoughts. Done. Moving along.
Yeah.
We get some tips. Let's see what the chat's up to. What's up, Noctis5451 with the level 2 membership says best VR channel on YouTube. I mean, thank you. I'll take that. I don't know if it's true, but I will definitely take that. We're definitely the best PSVR2 specific channel on YouTube. I don't know how many of those there are left. We used to be in competition with a few, and they slowly said, adios, amigos. Comic book guy, what's up? With the £2 says, not gonna lie, I thought it was Friday. Yep, so did I. As I was saying at the beginning of the show, I was looking for a clip of the week and being like, wait a minute. It's my whole week revolves around GAMESCAST and who's on GAMESCAST. Like, literally tonight, I will think tomorrow's Saturday, and I'll be jumping up tomorrow morning trying to start a PSVR this week. Fifth with the Australian $2 says, money towards the flat to VR port of Ready or Not. Bro, can I just say something?
Ready or not, Brian? Go for it.
The flat to VR stuff was fucking confusing yesterday. Okay?
Okay.
You had flat to VR talking about a Ready or Not mod. You had flat to VR Spark. You had Flatout 4 Total Insanity. Is that what it's called? Virtual Insanity? Whatever it's called. Total Insanity. A game that we had never heard of before. And for people who are confused, like, Brian, what are you talking about? You've been talking about Flatout VR for a fucking year now. For people who are confused, Flatout VR used to be, at least according to you guys, it was going to be like an amalgamation of all the different Flatout games. You're going to take pieces of this, pieces of that, whatever. You take assets all from all of it, and then shove it into a new Flatout VR game. Be like, we're going to take the best parts of the franchise and smush it all together. And suddenly, we get this Flat to VR Spark initiative, which was very confusing for, I think, the viewers. I rewatched the video like 3 times today going, why does the viewer need to know this? Why does the consumer need to know this? And I get it. Maybe you're trying to get the word out there to VR developers or people who do mods and freelance stuff. I get it. It's a good way to get the word out. But like, the consumer didn't need to know this side of things. But within that message, it seemed like Flatout 4 VR Total Insanity was a different project than Flatout VR. But it's just what Flatout VR has morphed into, correct? It's just been like, oh no, we're just going to port Flatout 4 into VR, and that's what's happening now. Correct or not correct?
Not exactly. I mean, look, just from the get go of what you're saying about this, and this feedback is really, really important, and especially for me, who's working on this stuff and like getting messaging right. And Flat to VR Spark is a new initiative, and I think that with a couple of these things on the show, there's an argument of like how much does it have a place in a VR game showcase, including Postal 2 Redux, which, by the way, as we were going live, has just become fully funded on Kickstarter. So thank you to everyone who has funded it. I honestly can't believe it. In a day, it's done it. There are now stretch goals, and it's going to keep improving the VR version. But that was like an example, is we made sure that the video we made for the showcase went for the VR one. I'm not dodging, by the way. Flat to VR Spark. So, I'm happy to talk about Flat to VR Spark overall, but in terms of Flatout and that, I actually spoke to Eric about this beforehand, going on the show and that, just to make sure that, like, you know, we're not getting things confused at all. So when we announced Flatout VR, what you saw on there was like in VR headset, but like it was like not controllable and stuff. That it was just showing you cockpit views and that. And we were exploring bringing Flatout to VR. That's exactly what it is. And as you go along with projects and developers and things come along, you move along with things. And so what you're seeing on the Flat VR Spark announcement is the Flatout VR project. Now it is Flatout 4 that's on there, but that is what basically came out of it as it's been worked on. And look, there are more things to announce. This is like the next stage of it, and what we wanted to do was explain how this was being done, which was the difference between Flat to VR Spark and Flat to VR Studios, where Flat to VR Spark is basically lifting up incredible modders, which is what Flat to VR was always about, supporting modders, the modding community of VR, and giving them the resources they need to do to get it over the line. Now, I've not played Flatout 4 VR. Eric has, and it's very, very far along in development, very far along in development. And from what they were telling me, it plays so fucking well. And
nice.
Like, this is an example of games where I wish I had PC VR, and I will get it one day, because there's some games I'm working on that are maybe even closer to launch that I haven't even had a chance to jump into yet, because I don't have a PC VR build. But yeah, like this is not kind of like a change of plan or anything like this. Obviously, when Flatout VR was announced initially, I wasn't aware of the development process and stuff like that. And this has been something that's going along. And Flat to VR Spark is an initiative that has been set up as like an incubator of, there are amazing modders who may as well be launching a full game, but they can't for whatever reason. And so whether it's us connecting them with the IP holder and making sure that we can do it officially, it's giving them the marketing support, maybe giving them additional support so it can be ported to multiple platforms. That's kind of what we step in. So just to go to Flat to VR Spark overall, the reason we put it in the showcase was a few reasons. One is devs do watch the VR game showcase, and we wanted to be clear, especially modders, that if there are modders out there that are working on a VR port of a game, and they thought, and for them it was just a hobby, and they actually thought, no, that this actually could be something that could be brought officially, then they can reach out to us, and then we can have those conversations and look at what we can do to make these things happen. It was a chance to show some flat screen games that have been worked on under Flat to VR Spark, which is what we did, including Flatout 4 VR. And the reason we ended with Flatout 4 VR on that showcase of Spark was just to show you different things. There was stuff that is very early work in progress, like UEVR, injector, footage as stuff is being explored. Right. But with Flatout 4 VR, this is something which is very, very far along the way. And so the final bit is just to make the statement, which is we're doing it to support modders, we're doing it to support IP holders, getting their games out to more people and more platforms, but also for gamers like us. It means there's just going to be more games for us to play. Not everything has to just rely on Flat to VR Studios. There are ways for us to support people and modders on the levels with that. And it was a very difficult thing to curate for it. And in retrospect, having seen it being consumed by people and how they're reacting, we probably could have done a better job of explaining it. But that's going to be our job with us as we work on these projects and start launching them one at a time.
Yep. And don't get me wrong, I totally get it, right? Like, but on first watch when I was streaming it, keeping an eye on the chat, trying to pay attention to the stream, talking to Jamie, probably talking over some of this. It was just like, wait a minute, like neither one of us thought that Flatout 4 was the Flatout VR project, right? And so it was confusing. But I don't think it's a bad idea by any stretch of the imagination. Like I think that the Spark program sounds great. Is like getting more people involved, getting more games ported. There's no downside as far as I can tell. So very excited to see what happens with all this.
And it's as we always say, Brian. Like there were a lot of people, and I mentioned this on my show just before this one. There was a lot of you game cats out there that had no interest in Trombone Champ Unflattened, and you went out and bought it because you wanted to vote with your wallet and say we support in what Flat VR Studios are doing. Now, in an ideal world, I would want you to do that for everything we're working on. But I know that that's not how it works. And I'm not here today to tell people that that's what you have to do. But this is a part of it. There are going to be some projects that some people like agree with, or it's right for them and not for others. And for us, it's just expanding what we're doing as an organization, especially in a gaming industry that is struggling. Like, and I'm not just talking about VR, I'm talking about gaming overall, the economy overall in terms of consumer products and stuff. And so now Impact Reality, we do have 4 organizations, which is quite a lot to communicate, but I'm going to give a quick breakdown of it now. So you have Impact Reality, which is the overarching company, and it's a PR and marketing company. So Impact Reality, what we do is we support developers and sometimes publishers who have a VR game, and we do flat screen games now like Postal 2 Redux, that want to get their games out there, and we offer marketing and PR expertise to help them have the best chance of success. We then have Flat to VR Studios, which is our studio that takes flat screen games and we bring it to VR. We now have Impact Inked, which is basically the publishing arm. So similar to Impact Reality, this is where we actually go into full partnerships. So this has happened with V-Racer Hoverbike, where they'd already had the game on Steam. They partnered up with us now, and together we brought it to MetaQuest, and now we're working with them to bring it to PSVR2. So that's another example of, because of our expertise across the company, we're able to help advise and bring in people from Flat to VR for conversations and be like, hey, if we were to bring this to PSVR2, how do we make it the best possible game it is? So even though publishing wouldn't necessarily always be to do that, we have the expertise to really make sure they have the best chance of success. And me, I'm always internally, Wes internally, we're always like, yeah, if we can get this to PSVR2, let's effing do it. And then Flat to VR Spark, which is kind of now going back to our roots with Flat to VR, which is, what about modders? You know, it's like that's the core DNA of what Flat to VR is. And it's not to say, obviously, Flat to VR Studios is looking away at the modding community. Like, we embrace it, but it is for bigger and bigger projects. And we just want to make sure that as we are expanding with bigger and bigger IPs, one of which, Poppy Playtime, is a massive IP, and we'll get to that a bit later, I know. It just means that we can have an incubator where we can look at projects that might often get overlooked. And I just find that really, really exciting. I know it feeds into the question that we spoke about on Friday, and we talk about it internally, is, are we biting off more than we can chew? There's a lot going on. But the honest truth is, we really believe in the VR platform, and we are just going to do everything we can to give it the best chance of success. We might not succeed. I think we are going to succeed. And I think if there's anyone that is going to succeed, it's us, because we are going about it in this multifaceted way. But yeah.
Hold on, I'm trying to get...
Unbelievable. Put me on the spot like that, and then crickets. You should have had cricket sound effects.
Just trying to get out of the way of tornado, man. Like, I know that, you know, we like to pretend people are here to see us, but according to the chat, that's not what's happening today, right? So,
we need tornado VR.
Where is I Am Cat? God damn it! Listen, I care very little about the inner workings of Flat to VR. I'm here. I play video games. I talk about video games. The business side of things, I don't get too interested in. But I'm glad to, you know, we've had a nice clarification for all the people who want to know about that stuff. We need to, now that we've kind of gotten all that out of the way, though, I do want to say it wasn't until today that I realized that I kind of got what I wanted out of the showcase. I basically said to Jamie, I was like, yes, I want a release date, but it sounds like release date is coming at least sometime soon. My big request at the beginning of the show was to see some actual VR gameplay of Flatout with the interiors of these vehicles. Now, obviously, what we're seeing here, or what it looks like here, is maybe some temporary UI from inside these vehicles. Seeing how some of like the speedometers and shit are just like plastered to the dashboard, and just sort of like some information just stuck up there. Not saying that that it has to be any better than that, but I'm just saying that's what I'm implying from seeing this. What I'm seeing looks really good. Like this is what I wanted to see from the showcase, more than anything else. And so I just want to say good job, because this is looking at what we have on PSVR2 as far as racing games go, as far as driving games go, there's not a lot, right? There's basically Galaxy Kart and Gran Turismo 7.
Yeah,
and that's kind
which
of
are both awesome.
Both awesome, but there's nothing in between. Like kart racers are the most arcadey of arcade racers, and Gran Turismo is like the most sim of sim racers. And that's not true, but you guys know what I'm saying. Everybody in the comments going to be like, well, actually Assetto Corsa, or actually this. No, I get you. iRacing hurt. But as far as PSVR2 goes, like those are currently the two ends of the spectrum, and I'm glad to see that there's something sort of in the middle, or definitely closer to the arcade side more than anything else. I just think the footage looks great. I think the cockpits already look great. The damage model look great. Seeing all the variety of the vehicles that are all like kind of crashing and flying around the road in front of you is great. The environments look great. I mean, like this went from being a game I was excited for to a game I'm super excited for. And you guys were being pretty transparent today about saying that there might be more Flatout games coming after this. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But it was rebuilt for VR with 27 cars, 20 tracks, party modes like stunt mode, arena and deathmatch, CTF. Why can't I think of what that is on the top of my head? Survivor and assault. So plenty of game modes to keep people busy. Just want to say,
dude, having damage in a racing game is going to be amazing. Like, Gran Turismo, do you have any damage? You do. You do have a little bit. It's scratches and stuff, isn't it? When you ram each other, or am I imagining that for Gran Turismo 7?
I don't think so. I don't think there's any damage at all in Gran Turismo. I think that's always been the biggest complaint with Gran Turismo, is that there's no damage at all.
Yeah, but doing this, like just seeing it crumpling in around you, is going to be just so good.
CTF, capture the flag.
Thank you, Markio. Capture the flag. Yeah.
Yep. Jesus. Yep. I fixed my sleep schedule, but I'm fucking tired as hell because my rhythm's all sorts of off. Sorry, let's see how many people also write capture the flag. We're up to 4.
I'm gonna write actually capture the flag.
Yeah, you want to be number 5? That's great.
That's cool.
We're gonna get back to the VR game showcase in a second here, but I do want to talk about something real quick here. I don't know how much interest you have in it, Myles. We're just gonna bounce all over the place today. But Bitnappy in the chat a little earlier said, "What's everyone's opinion? Does a game have to have a realistic art style to be immersive?" And I got to tell you, man, I played Ancient Dungeon Mage class.
Oh yeah. How was
it? So what had happened, Myles, was that was it after Monday's show? I can't even remember. I think it was after Monday's show. I was mid-run Monday show. Did not get the mage class. Did not unlock the mage class on my first run. And then after Monday's show, I went back in with Rhodey and Nick, and we got to the library again. Still no mage class, right? And now the developers are saying it's very likely you'll get it the first time, right? You'll encounter it the first time. The likelihood that it unlocks the first time, very high. If not, you'll definitely get it the second time. Did not get it the second time, Myles. And so, as I say, third time's a charm. And so I did finally unlock the mage class late Monday night. But by that time, I had done 3 fucking runs of Ancient Dungeon, and I was like, okay, enough. I'm tired. Like, I just want to go to bed. And so today, my only goal was to go in and actually check out the mage class. And I spent some time in there, man. I spent some time in there because I completed Ancient Dungeon on New Game Plus. So I did 2 full runs, consecutive runs, playing by myself as the mage class, learning it. And I gotta say, this is the best way to play Ancient Dungeon. It is phenomenal. Yep. Like nothing.
Is it not in a way that would make the other ways become boring?
I think the other ways are great training wheels.
Interesting.
Right. Like but it ultimately ends up feeling so simple. Like being like, okay, get crossbow, reload the crossbow. Just shoot. Okay, wait for the arrow to come back. Reload the crossbow. Shoot. Yeah. Right. This just feels more VRAF. It feels more. You get your tome. Right, in one hand, and it's got 3 floating voxel orbs spiraling around, and by pulling R2 with the wand, one of those orbs goes into the wand, and you flick it, and it just always works. Like the number of Magic games I've played in VR over the years, Myles, have been a lot, and the number of times you do this and nothing happens, and you're like shit, right?
Which is not a spell. I've never seen a wizard say that. Like, shit.
Right? Would be great for constipated people. Right?
That's true.
I don't know. There's going to be some cool accent. Shit all over me.
Wow. Dude, I didn't know you spoke that.
There's got to be people in the chat that are into that stuff. Right?
Maybe.
Shit all over me. Anyway.
Yep.
Anyway, so like you fire these voxel orbs, and after they destroy something, they do come back to you and repopulate the 3 spinning ones that are on the book, and it's cool. So you can't do it 1, 2, 3. You got to wait a second after that. But so it does slow you down a little bit, but it's not as slow as the crossbow. And
does it must look good with the OLEDs.
Yeah,
with the lighting, or not? Yeah,
absolutely. And then you can, once you've charged up, you can pull L2, and the book opens, and then you have a choice of 3 other orbs, 3 different color ones. There's like a lightning attack, a fire attack, a poison attack, right? And this is your charged up special attack, right? And then there's even another thing you can do by swiping the book, which I literally never did during my run, right? It's just but it just feels like you have so many more options. And I just gotta say, man, I gave Ancient Dungeon a 10 out of 10 before the content updates, before the class update, before the multiplayer update. But man, I just gotta say, this is like my favorite game in VR.
Wow.
It just there's always something to do. There's always something to find. There's always something to unlock. And the fact that you're staying on top of this is just so great. And I really hope that the PSVR2 community is giving this the love that it deserves. I hope people are out there buying this game and listening to me when I tell them how much fun it is. Right? Because I played it alone today. And I really wanted New Game Plus, but I was just so tired. I was like, right. The risk reward stuff is fantastic. I'm just having a blast. And what I love is that you see the thing that I'm firing right here, the shot, it's yellow right now, right? And it's big, but by the end of this run, it was 3 times bigger.
Really?
It's also 3 times slower, right? Just because of the different upgrades I was getting.
You get this whole new perk system. Well,
in the old perks apply to the new new class, right? And so this, cool. I don't know, man. I'm in love with this game, and I'm never going to be tired of playing it. And if they keep updating it, then I'll be saying that for years, I'm sure.
2 questions. Actually, no, 2 points. One is a question. First point is not being a developer. I always feel that one of the hardest parts of doing this kind of update is maintaining balance. So you add a new weapon, and then what is the implications with all the modifiers of other stuff, and is it going to break the game and stuff like that? So to hear everything you're saying, I mean, this is a game that I definitely do not play half as much as I want to, and so I definitely will have to jump back into this because it is an excellent time. My question was, where did it rank on your personal top 25?
Oh, I have
before
no
the update. But you'd have no idea.
Oh,
but it would go up higher.
Sorry. Not even talking about the top 25 debate, just literally if I was doing my own top list.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in my top 5, right?
Yeah,
It's just, I just think it's this and Phasmo, which by the way also got an update. The Grafton Farmhouse I got to check out for just a few seconds before the show. They did an amazing job of doing that. Just again, these games that are endlessly replayable, the games that you can play by yourself or with friends, right? I like games that give you the option to play with other people and might be better with other people, but are also very, very satisfying to play alone. It's like So I know people will not understand me when I say this, but like from a personal perspective, from considering the kinds of games that I enjoy more than anything else, it's Resident Evil Village and this. Those are my top 2 favorite PlayStation VR2 games.
Wow.
Right. So, yeah. Yep.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
No,
actually,
love it.
I think I have. Do I have footage? I know I was rendering out a bunch of footage before GAMESCAST today. Let me see if I have footage of the Grafton Farmhouse. By the way, so Phasmophobia. Here you go. Here's a look at the new Grafton Farmhouse overhaul. Man, Kinetic Games has some work to do. Like they did an amazing job of making this farmhouse look fantastic, right? They just made it look super rundown and everything, but you can even tell in this footage that there's frame rate problems. Right? Same thing happened with Bleasdale. I think I think this one's as bad as Point Hope, the lighthouse.
Right. Yeah.
Man, I'm so glad that they keep adding stuff to this game, but for people who are sensitive to frame rates, I push through it because I love the game so much, but it's going to turn so many people off if this is their first experience with VR or their first experience with Phasmo. So, yeah. But a very cool update, and I'm looking forward to seeing their technical updates now that they've given us so much content updates. So yeah, to answer Bitmappy's question, he says, "What's everyone's opinion? Does a game have to have a realistic art style to be immersive?" The answer is no. Right? No. With Ancient Dungeon, it is the opposite of realistic. It is voxel art. It looks like Minecraft, and I couldn't be any more immersed in that game. I mean, outside of it being photorealistic, I couldn't be any more immersed in Ancient Dungeon.
I find, and it's why it's high on my list on the top 25. Walkabout Mini Golf, I find immersive, and the way I'd simply say it is when I play Walkabout Mini Golf, obviously social's different, but when you're on your own, the music and everything, I just feel so relaxed. Like right now, I'm just like, I'm on a mountain here and it feels so peaceful and I just feel present in this beautiful world. And it doesn't look realistic, but you just feel present and immersed in it. So, yeah.
Yep. Marky is in the chat asking if we use DFR. I'm assuming he's asking about Phasmo. Yeah, DFR is on, but I don't think they've actually utilized it in the sense that
they've just stopped it making it worse when it just makes the whole place shake.
Right.
When it was doing all that, it's like, whoa.
Exactly. So yeah, so it doesn't actually improve the performance to my knowledge. And I'm also, just FYI, I am playing on the Pro, which smooths out a lot of the frame rate issues in Phasmo in different places, but not here. Let's check out the tips, man. Let's see what's going on here. We got Lewis Matthews 2921 said, "Hey guys, what's up, Lewis?" Says, "Is it safe to buy Wanderer already?" Nope. I mean, that's the easy answer. When I don't have time to go back and just spend hours playing Wanderer unless I'm reviewing it. So I have to trust people in our community who are rolling the dice and picking it up and giving us feedback and saying, here's my experience, here's what happened. People are still experiencing game breaking bugs in Wanderer. So my advice is to say, fuck it, ignore it till 2026, like I'm going to. And hopefully in 2026 they'll have the combat update in, they'll have fixed more of the bugs, and I don't know if they're still going to do the pro support, but I don't think it needs pro support. That game is beautiful. Right, running at 90 native, and it looks stunning. So I say, reward those developers when it's time to reward them. My opinion, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I've not jumped back into it since launch, and it was such a shame. But I believe they are going to make it right, and I could play it as it's gradually improving. No, I want my full-fledged experience of it to be when it's done.
Yep.
Not that there's ever such thing as truly done, but once it's like, yeah, if the combat ends up being some of the best ever combat in VR, then we can dream, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Kill Artist, Dreamweaver GameCat with a level 2 membership says, watch the first episode of Alien Earth before the show, and I am hooked. Gonna binge and then play more Alien Rogue Incursion. #Alien Day. Really cool.
Oh, man.
It is tough, though. It is tough having seen like 2 hours of Alien Earth and now having to wait a full week to see another hour, then another week to see another hour. I don't consume TV like that anymore, Miles. Like, this is not how, like, those days are behind me.
Behind you.
I generally like to, I like when an entire season is dropped and I get to binge the entire thing. I understand why you wouldn't want to do that as a streaming service, right? You want to keep people subscribed as long as possible. And so at least this way, Hulu is where I'm watching it. It's an FX show on Hulu. They're going to get a subscription for at least 2 months out of me instead of 1.
Yep.
I do have to say, Miles, season 14 of King of the Hill is pretty fucking good too, though. So
I might keep it. You start going to other stuff in the meantime. So it's happened with me. I've been watching Dexter Resurrection, which is on Paramount Plus. Yeah, I'm loving it. But I never watched Original Sin, which was the prequel. I watched a little bit of it. I was like, this is all right. I'll come back to it. But because I was like, I need more Dexter. So I started watching Original Sin like every other day. So I've at least get my Dexter fix between the Resurrection episodes, and that's doing good. So, and I'm actually enjoying Original Sin, but I've hit my quota of TV shows to talk about today.
I made it halfway through Original Sin, and I didn't stop because I wanted to stop. I stopped because I switched over to Resurrection.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Which Resurrection I think is phenomenal. I think it
is.
It's the first good season of Dexter since Dexter season 3. Don't hate me. Yeah. I thought Dexter fell off way before everyone else thought it fell off.
Oh, you didn't like the Trinity Killer one?
So who's John Lithgow? Is that his name?
Yeah, that's it. That was season 4. That was amazing.
Everyone loved it, and when I rewatched it, I did enjoy it more. But still, he is Third Rock from the Sun guy for me. He's the dad from Third Rock from the Sun. I cannot take him seriously as the Trinity Killer, and but it's good. It's better than I give it credit for. I will say that. So if anybody disagrees with me, I understand where you're coming from. But man, season 1 and 2 of Dexter are just like, it's peak television watching.
It is.
It's like Weeds season 1. I think Weeds season 1 is flawless television. I think it is one of the greatest TV seasons of TV ever made. And I think Dexter 1 and 2 is right up there as well.
Awesome. I had more to say, but save it for our TV podcast.
I mean, we can start one. I'm about to start a third channel. If anybody
no, I can't start any more projects. I need to get back to live streaming VR games.
Don't worry. It's just to make sure that when PSVR2 dies, because clearly it's dying.
That's it.
We have some.
Don't pull your eggs in one basket. Yeah.
Yep. While he's now GameCast, specifically White Tiger, with a Canadian $2 tip, says Poppy Playtime is great. FNAF security breach type. Well. What a great transition. What a great segue. Thank you so much, Waleed. It was interesting to
out, didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, listen,
See, that was better than your reaction. That yeah. Because I that was gonna be funny. I went once the announcement was made. I was so hyped for that going out there, and then I tuned into you and Jamie as soon as it got live because you were on a bit of a delay, and I was like, "Oh my god, they're gonna see it!" And then it got shown, and Brian went, "Yay!"
Yep.
And then I was like, dislike and unsubscribe.
Yeah, and thank you for that. The sooner everybody unsubscribes, the sooner I can focus all of my efforts on the retro channel.
I appreciate the reaction, and I was like, it's fair.
Listen. I'm 45 years old, Myles. I'm 45 years old. The fact that I know anything about Five Nights at Freddy's is shocking, right?
Right.
And it's only because it came to VR that I know anything about FNAF. And so there's something very similar here where it's like, well, no, it's not on my radar. It's not going to be on my radar until you put it in VR. And then now it's specifically on my radar, right? And
what was going through your mind because I remember your reaction, like as soon as it came up with the TV screen and we had the teaser stuff. And by the way, me and my colleague Baz on my team, we were one morning scratching our heads on what the text was going to say. And it's the most fun I've had creating something. But you were like leaning in. What was going through your mind at that point? You just knew it was something to do with horror. Was that?
I didn't know it was anything to do with horror. Myles, what was going through my mind was I'm fucking tired. I only got 20 minutes of sleep last night. The sooner that this thing is over, and like listen, yes, I was paying attention to what was happening on screen, but I was also paying attention to the chat, and the chat was like so done. The chat was so done. Like, I understand it's been a hot summer. People like, it was the middle of the day. It was like noon here, right? So it was like even here with my shades pulled, I was just like, oh, it's so hot and I'm tired, and I just want this to be over because it hasn't been over the top exciting, right? And so that's where I was at, and I know that a lot of the chat was there with us. We were just like not being like, yeah, it's fine. I didn't need to be here for this. And so for me, it didn't matter what the announcement was. Outside of BioShock VR, I was just like, thank God this is over. Let's move along. Like,
fair,
right? So, however, as a lot of people know, when I got my Switch 2, half of the reason I got my Switch 2, 90% of the reason I got my Switch 2 was because I had been just getting Switch 1 games on sale, but especially the ones that I heard played better on Switch 2, right? Better frame rates, better resolution, whatever. And so the Poppy Playtime or Playtime Poppy collection, episodes 1, 2, and 3, is something I just grabbed because it looked kind of like FNAF and it was on sale. And I was like, fuck, I'll grab this for, $17 or something like that, physical version. It had just been sitting on my shelf for months. And then this got announced and I was like, wait a minute, I actually have this game or this series of games. And so, so today for about an hour, I just laid in bed and played Poppy's Playtime Poppy episode 1. I'm excited for this now. I am.
Really?
This is a way better. This was a way better reveal than I gave it credit for.
Okay, so I know now where I fucked up with this video we worked on. It should have had the intro with all of our titles, and then the text should have come up, and the text should have read, "Brian, unwrap it and put it in your Switch now. We'll wait." And then it's like an hour, and then it's just black while we're waiting. Mm-hmm. Have you finished playing it? Okay, here's the announcement. That's what we should have done.
It's so funny now that I've seen the official trailer I'm playing it right now. It's the first time I've watched the official trailer for the game that launched years ago. It's the same text and everything. So people who were familiar with Poppy, man, I bet it was so much more exciting for them, right? Because they were like, oh, I recognize this from the official trailer. Oh, look at this. Look at this. See, you guys did a better job than I give you credit for.
And just behind the scenes, so me and Baz, we were just like, all we're doing is we're announcing, and today people are going to ask questions of like, when's it coming out? What platforms? Like, we are literally just saying that we're working on it. This is so early stage. We are so hyped for this. Yep. This is kind of something like for me, like Trombone Champ Unflattened. It's just an IP that I just think really suits itself for VR. And I know that there are VR mods for it and stuff like that. But to go into this world in VR and the fact that like it's such a massive IP for them to entrust us with this is super, super exciting. But yeah, what we did is we looked at the original trailer and we looked what can we get to work here, and we said, right, that text, we need to do that. And then it's one of those games like where people that don't understand the game Moss think that the mouse is called Moss. No, it's called Quill. Or in Zelda, you play as Zelda, no, you play as Link. It's not Poppy, it's Huggy Wuggy, who you see coming towards you. Huggy Wuggy. And yeah, just that quick reveal. And Jamie Feltham told me it was the announcement tweet was their one of VR Game Showcase's most viewed tweets ever. So that was cool to hear as well.
Yeah,
but it's going to be a slow burn for that reason, because there's going to be a lot of people that don't know it, but then there are going to be people as it finds out, oh wow, Poppy Playtime, and obviously a lot of the players are young kids that perhaps don't watch the VR Game Showcase. They just go on the storefront and just see what looks cool, and that's definitely how Poppy Playtime probably sells a lot, because you look at that thumbnail, with Huggy Wuggy, and you're like, oh, that looks creepy. I mean, the horror games kids play these days are so hardcore by my standards. Like, there's some Five Nights at Freddy's. That's way more hardcore than what we had when we were kids.
Yeah. Oh god, when Secret of the Mimic comes out, like, you're fucked.
Yeah.
So I will say, for anybody who's curious about this game and is like looking at the trailer and going, also, who Technoglitch says you never owned a Sega console and it shows. Who are you talking to? I'm like, I was skimming back through the chat and seeing who you were referring to. But my first console was a Sega Genesis. Before that, I had a Commodore 64. All my friends had Nintendos,
Master System,
an NES. Yeah, it's like, and I definitely had a Dreamcast, and then a Sega CD and 32X later in life, like way later in life, when they were like when people were throwing them out. I got them for like $10. Love Sega, but I know that I don't think that comment was towards me because I can't figure out who he's talking to. Right, Technoglitch, he's laughing in the chat. It's like, but I want to know the context. Like, screw what we're talking about. I want to know what you're talking about. This is way. They're always having a better conversation than we are, Myles. So I played like I said, I played the first hour, and I got to say, like, within 10 minutes, I was like, this is a game that was designed for VR. Like,
right.
It makes so much more sense as a VR game. It's physics based. It's sort of escape room style puzzles. It's on the scary side. So far, I'm sure it gets scarier, but I just haven't really encountered that stuff yet. But whereas everyone in where everything in this trailer is showing that you have two hands and like you do this and this, you have to unlock those hands. You have to find them and then use them. And so what you have is a hand that like you literally shoot at objects that get stuck to objects, and you pull them around the environment. And then your arm is conducts electricity, so you can wrap that around different elements in the room to charge things up. And it was like, this is fine on the Switch on a flat screen. It's fine, but I can already feel how it's going to be to have one of those hands actually be my hand and then pull the trigger and have it shoot out and then do this in order to. I mean, it makes way more sense as a VR game than it does a flat screen game. And so. I mean, so shout out to Flat to VR, right? Not just because you're here. Suck my dick, Myles. But seriously, to bring a game like this, to VR where it deserves to be, where it's supposed to be, where it feels like it should have been all along, right? And I love that. I love that this is happening. Right? So I thought the puzzles so far have been really good. I did look it up online. The first episode's like not even an hour long. And then episode 2 is a couple hours. Episode 3 is a couple hours. So I'm very curious. I know that you're not ready to make announcements. How much is going to be contained in the VR version? So I'll be looking forward to hearing more about that.
I was going to say, it's a great question, Brian. Great question.
Oh, Technoglitch says he wasn't even talking to anyone. Just throwing out stupid comments. God damn it.
I do that while I'm presenting.
Excellent. So guys, yeah, anyone who likes horror or honestly even just a good puzzle game, I honestly feel like you should be looking forward to this, because I had to stop myself from playing more because I was like, oh, I wonder where this is going. I wonder how scary it's going to be. You know what? I'm not going to know until it comes out in VR. You guys aren't even announcing like consoles and stuff. Like I'm assuming again, you don't have to respond to this because you're not announcing anything here. But I generally assume when it's not a Spark project, when it's an actual flat to VR project, that it's coming to all headsets.
Look, I'll say it as clearly as I can. It is always our intention to get these games to all the platforms. Like that's what we want to do. But we will announce it once we are able to confirm things. But yeah, I would love to play this on PSVR2 with headset rumble and adaptive triggers when using the toy hands. Like, oh man, it's just like, yeah.
When you nail the combination of adaptive triggers and the haptics when they go hand in hand, pun not intended,
like that,
right?
Yeah, hand in hand.
Right. But when those two things do converge, and they work together so well, man, it makes such a big difference. Which is what when you pull any trigger on any weapon in any PSVR2 game, you know what I'm talking about, right? And if you pull and specifically, if anybody's played Village, which you better have by now, if you get the shotgun, and I just remember the first time you pull the shotgun in Village, pull the trigger, right? Not only is the adaptive trigger support there, so you feel like you're pulling an actual trigger, but then you get the haptics from the fucking sense controllers, and your headset rumbles because it's such a powerful explosion, and you get the sound effect. It's the perfect combination to make it like the most immersive thing you can experience in VR, right? And so, seeing exactly how that's going to work with just like, the simple thing like your hands, shooting your hands out, right? It's going to feel great.
Dude, I remember being at that point in Resident Evil Village, knowing like how good the shotgun is, and I'm in the shooting range, and I'm like, oh, here's the shotgun, I'm going to press it, it's meant to be good, and I was still blown away at how awesome it felt, despite having it hyped up. I was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Crazy.
That's cool, man.
We also got Waleed, his now GameCast, specifically White Tiger with the Canadian $2 tip, says, I'm overall happy with the VR game showcase existing. Keep it up. I am very happy with it existing.
Yeah, no one's. I don't think anyone's against it existing. It's just, we have to. It's for us to talk about what works and what doesn't. This is why I'm happy to take the praise from Brian on stuff, but I'm also happy to take the criticism as well. It's like, if we don't hear this, we don't improve. Like, we are a VR community. We're only gonna get better at making the stuff we all want if we listen to each other and find out the best ways to conduct ourselves.
Listen, I think the thing to remember is that like no one event is signaling the future of our headset. It's not right, and that's what, whenever Nintendo has a direct, and they do one every few months, people are like, ugh, Nintendo sucks. There's nothing here. It's like, bro, they're doing it every 3 months. Like there's gonna be something for you eventually, right? And the same thing with State of Plays, the same thing with showcases, same thing with everything. It's just and again, this showcase wasn't about every single game coming to every single headset for the foreseeable future or for the next 3 or 4 months or whatever. It was about the ones that Jamie was able to procure. It was the ones that he had with studios he had relationships with, right? When people use it as an excuse to say, let's be honest, PSVR2's dead, I'm like, you're not being honest with yourself. That's what I'm hearing, right? Because you have to look at it the bigger picture, not just the VR game showcase. And the next VR game showcase could be super focused on PSVR2. Every game could be PSVR2. It's not going to be, but I'm saying it's a possibility, right? And that doesn't mean it's suddenly alive. No, it's been fine the whole time. VR is not mainstream. VR is requiring some work on our end in order to push it forward. To the extent that people like Eric, like you, like Wes, have transitioned somewhat from being YouTubers about VR to people actually in the trenches getting games to VR, right? And so, and I think that I think it's great that it's happening, right? But it's also an understanding of like where VR is, where the games industry is, and it's just like it just takes some work. It just takes some work. And so shout out to everybody who's putting in the work, and everyone who's just complaining all the time.
No, they believe
it. It's just boring. It's the same boring conversation we've been hearing since 2016. VR is not dead. PlayStation VR is not dead. Sony might not give a fuck about VR, but they're not giving up on it. They put a lot of money into VR every single year.
Yep. And progress doesn't go in a straight line. Like, we just expect that, like, oh, a good thing happens and another good thing. No, there's peaks and troughs. And if anything, it's surprising how fucking awesome VR's doing, considering the economic state of the world and the gaming industry as a whole. Like, we just had Hitman, Alien Rogue Incursion. Like, come on, guys. And there are projects still coming out. Like, I know you were. I think you were talking about you wanted it on the showcase with a release date, RoboQuest. Yeah. That wasn't on there, but RoboQuest is in development, and that's going to be an awesome title. And what else we got? We got loads of like big IPs. Yeah. I mean, Poppy Playtime is a big IP for us, a particular audience. Flatout is big, and then we've got like new IPs as well, like Reach. As much as there might be questions about what we've been shown and stuff of it, like it's going to be an impressive VR experience from Endream. So I think It's not been that many months since the last VR game showcase in March. Like, it really hasn't been a lot of time. Like,
I'm starting to get excited about games that when they say coming in 2026, right? Because we are good. I think we are good for 2025. We don't need any more games coming out in 2025.
Okay.
Like, we're good. I was tell them to stop. Push the brake. Because even though we're in the middle of the summer drought right now, we've easily got 15 games I'm excited for coming out between now and the end of the year, right? So basically between the middle of August and the middle of December, less than 4 months, we've got about 15 games I'm excited for. And so that's a lot. That's a lot. So any game that gets talked about now or revealed or gets in a fucking 2026, please. Right. I was even saying that to Jamie on yesterday's showcase, saying we don't know if they're releasing Of Lies and Rain into early access on PlayStation or if they're just going to wait until it's completely done.
Right.
But I'd be fine because right now it looks like the next few months are going to be so insanely busy that I kind of want them to Arcanage it, right? And just wait till after the new year. Wait till things die down a little bit. Wait till things settle down. Carve out a nice little moment for yourself where you don't get lost in this rush of other games. And that's, I don't care either way. I'm excited for Of Lies and Rain. It's right up there. Right up there with Flatout 4.
Nice. I don't know about you, Brian. I've got a backlog of games that I'd like to go back to and play more of.
Yeah, I agree. In fact, there were a bunch of games that I wanted to review or re-review the PSVR2 versions of, and I was like, man, like we get a little downtime in the middle of summer here, it would be perfect. And then I was like, it's all good. Prozac 380 with the $2 tip says, "How dare you fool me into thinking it's Friday?" Ugh.
I know, it's terrible.
I'm gonna be fucked for the rest of the week.
Yeah, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and be like, "Oh, it's not the weekend yet."
Yep. The Amiga Guru with the 50 Nokia cell phones says, "Just going to say that you two hosting together is quality time. Rock on, guys. Thanks for the flat out clarifications too."
I'm glad it's described as a clarification. I came out of that and went, are they more or less confused? So.
I don't know. I kind of tuned out while you were talking. So
that's fine. You can watch it on replay after.
I probably won't. I'll just ask you again next week. You guys at my disposal. Why would I rewatch things when I could just ask you?
Yeah. Well, you could just ask me.
Yeah. Oh, who is that? Sorry, I don't even know what the screen name is. Attitude. Yeah, that's all I got. They said we need Monstrum for PSVR2. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I even asked them forever ago if Monstrum was coming to PSVR2, and they're like, no. But Monstrum looks so good. I've got that on Switch waiting to be played too. Game Cato with the Australian $5 says, "Struth Cobber, Flatout looks awesome. Hope its multiplayer is as fun as, you guessed it, 90s Extreme Skiing."
Wow.
Fuck yeah. Yep.
Who knows?
Man. What am I doing right now? You know what I'm doing? I'm picking a game for
just hanging out.
Questions. Yeah.
Oh, isn't it my turn to choose?
Is it your turn? I don't think it is. I think.
Oh well, no. It would have been on Friday. It would have been mine, but because I've moved to Wednesday, got a double dip.
If you want to pick it, and that way we can keep the rotation going, then that works fine for me.
I would love to pick.
It's always easier to pick than guess.
That is exactly right. Let's have a look here.
Let's see. What is the chat saying? I've been keeping an eye on you guys.
This, okay. All right. I got one, Brian. I think I got one. Yeah, I got one. I got one.
All right. You guys know how this works. Myles has chosen a game. It's up to us, meaning me right here and all of you out there, To figure out what game that is, we've got an infinite number of yes or no questions to ask, but only 4 minutes to ask them in. So make sure you ask lots of good questions about the game in the chat and then suggest good games that it might be based on the answer we get. The winning streak is over. I'm sorry to report. We were up 7 and then lost on Monday. I don't know what to say about that. But let's do this, you guys. On your mark, get Des, go. Is it on PSVR 1?
No.
Is it on anything other than PSVR 2?
Yes.
Okay, so multi-platform game, not PSVR 1. Is it? Does it have puzzles?
No.
Does it have combat?
Yes.
Okay, is that combat melee?
Yes.
Is there other types of combat other than melee?
Yes.
Okay, so we've got all types of combat. Is it sci-fi?
No. No.
Okay. Are there zombies?
No.
Was it ever, or is it a flat screen game as well?
No.
First person?
Yes.
Okay. Sirens on my end.
No.
Yes, there are. You lose. Now, are there any vehicles?
No.
A shopping cart is a vehicle, just FYI.
No.
Okay. Is there any parkour? Asked Looper.
I'm going to say no.
Okay. Is it a good game?
Yes.
Okay. Is there climbing?
No.
Is this game a sequel?
No.
Does it have sequels?
No.
All right. Oh, we asked if it's multiplayer, but we didn't ask if there's single player. Is there a single player option?
Yes.
Okay. Good question, Fifth. Let's nail down the art style. Is it realistic?
No.
Cartoony?
Yeah.
Okay. Cartoony single or multiplayer game on PSVR 2, not on PSVR 1, but it is on other platforms. It's a good game with melee combat and some kind of... Is it... Let's get the theme down. Is it like medieval?
No.
Okay, not medieval, not sci-fi. Fantasy? I guess medieval fantasy, it's all the same boat.
No.
Okay. Let's see. Did we talk about it on today's show?
No.
Hellsweeper is not cartoony. Is there a chainsaw in it?
No.
Wow, why am I just blanking completely? Okay, is the melee sword fighting?
I'm going to be specific. You have swords, but I wouldn't say sword fighting. Like, you're not fighting against other people's swords. That might have been a massive giveaway. But I'm willing to give it.
Everyone's asking about hell. Does it take place in hell?
No.
Is it a roguelite?
No.
Okay. Man. All right, I'm going to go with Disco Beaver's suggestion because we are out of time. Is it Paint the Town Red?
Yeah, it isn't, unfortunately, Brian. It is. It begins with T. Ends in Eiger Blade.
Wow.
Eiger Blade, Brian.
I don't think I was gonna get there. Nope, was not going to get there. I didn't even know this had multiplayer.
It doesn't.
Oh, crap. Oh, dude, in my notes I wrote multi-plat for multi-platform.
Oh, I see. You said, you said multi-plat. Yeah, I didn't say multiplayer. Yeah, when people were saying it in the chat, I was like, I haven't been asked about multiplayer yet.
Anytime I glanced over, I assumed that it was single player and multiplayer. Yeah,
gotcha.
That was my bad. I just took the not that I would have gotten it. I should have talked about locomotion. If I think
when you said sci-fi. When you said sci-fi, I was like, I think it feels like that kind of alternate futurism. But I looked at the images, it's like, nah, it's modern day and grounded. I had a really good time with this, dude.
I would say the enemies look like they're sci-fi-ish, like Neo Tokyo type stuff.
That's it. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But it wasn't going to get me there. I don't know if it would have helped the chat. So I'm not. Trust me, I'm not concerned about it. But yeah, I think
first time picked.
The locomotion would have gotten me there. That's the only question. That's the only line of questioning. I think that would have gotten me there. But knowing that it was like on rails of some kind, would have helped it out considerably.
Yeah, when you said parkour, I was like, well, you do go to high areas, but I'm like, but that's not really it. And then when you said climbing, I was like, okay, you're thinking like doing this. I'm like, yeah, you do go like you dart up to places, but stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, Tiger Blade, I had a really good time with, man. Like, and it does. I know this gets used for a lot of games. It does feel like a time crisis in VR. Like and the way that you use the sword to deflect bullets just feels epic. And it's a real workout as well. Like when you get to those later levels.
Yeah, Dead Second, and then the Crisis Brigade games. Those are our time crisis games more than anything else, I think. Although I think I used a time crisis reference even for the CR Squad, Crossfire CR Squad.
Oh yeah. No, I'd say that as well. Yeah,
right. It was more of like a full locomotion version of those games.
Right. If that was Node, then that would be 100% time crisis. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man, Dan Keeper says Afterlife for $6. Nope. Oh, I'm sorry. If you're a horror fan like I am, like then yeah, for sure. But like you're playing it because it's super low budget. It's not, the resolution is not sharp. And the combat stuff is pretty weak. But there's a couple good scares. So for $6, I'd say go for it. But again, you got to be like me. Myles, thanks so much, man. I'm so glad you were able to fill in. I guess you're not filling in. Wes is technically filling in for you on Friday.
And the reason why is because Gamescom is next week. Some of my colleagues are stopping off in the UK at the weekend, and so I'm going to be just saying hi to them while they're here. And so I was like, Wes, I don't want to cancel a show. Can we swap? And he was like, let me have a look. Yeah, absolutely. I was like, awesome. And
yeah. At this point, I don't want to cancel a show unless we have to. So I guess, what would have happened if neither one of you could have been here would have been like, normally I would just want to do the show alone and be able to like really hang out with the chat and shoot the shit with them more than, like without a co-host. But holy crap, man, very, very tired. And so I don't know if there would have been a show if you guys didn't switch places. So glad it worked out. Wally is now GameCast, specifically White Tiger with a Canadian $2 tip, says Poppy doesn't have cheap scares. Pretty deep lore. Oh, I was hoping for some cheap scares. I like a good variety, man. I like my jump scares. I like cheap jump scares. I like deserved jump scares. I like it all. Just shove it all in there. I'll sort it out.
But I definitely want to ask you about something that I think happens in the first hour, but I wasn't even going to talk about it until after the show. But I'm curious.
We'll talk about it after the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. World of One is sad that you're not going to make it to Gamescom.
Honestly, because there's no XR. Was it the XR space, which was so good last year? And I could go join the team if I wanted to, but I'm so exhausted with the showcase and stuff, and like it is a lot to go there. And as someone who is pretty fine with like hanging out in places, it's Gamescom, dude. Like the amount of people, the main corridor. I mean, I can't remember what the numbers is. It's like 6 figures number of people that go to it. Yep. I've never seen so many people in a convention center. It's Yeah, Home of XR. It's a shame it's not there this year. Hopefully next year. Like if it was something that was every other year, that could be pretty cool. But to wait and see. But yeah, anyone going to Gamescom, have an amazing time and just keep waving the VR flag because there will be VR devs there, and Flat VR Studios will be there. Impact Reality and Postal, the Postal 2 guys are going to be there, running with scissors, and Team Beef. Team Beef will be there.
They don't want us to end, Myles. Dan Kiefer is asking about where was the other one? Crap, I didn't see it. Oh,
he says
Iron Guard.
Flatout looks amazing, but I would love a Burnout VR game.
That's not him.
Oh, sorry. Who are you reading?
Dan
oh,
Kiefer.
sorry. Yeah.
He's also asking about Iron Guard for $9. Yeah, there's another sale going on right now. I'll take a closer look into it. I haven't actually had a chance to go through it. But Iron Guard is worth $20. That game you get just dozens of hours out of, and it's just a fantastic tower defense game. Check out my review. I give it like a low 8 or something. I think that's pretty fair. Iron Guard is wonderful, and they're going to bring Iron Guard Salvation to PSVR2 as well. So play this one so that you're ready for the sequel. Nice. We also got Comic Book Guy 5 with the £5 says Flatout looks amazing, but I would love a Burnout VR game. Well, Comic Book Guy, you and me both.
Why don't it just be Flatout looks amazing and I would like a Burnout VR game. We want it all. We want it all.
Listen. My hope is that you guys kind of get these like a little bit lesser known franchises. You get your hands on those, and then and that's the roadmap to getting the bigger AAA franchises. Burnout and Ridge Racer. Those are like two just absolutely classic arcade racing series that I would kill for in VR. Hopefully one day it happens, and hopefully Flat VR is the one handling it. That'd be nice. But I'm with you, Comic Book Guy. Right now, just kind of, it sounds like derogatory to say, like, oh, we'll take what we can get, right? Because it's like, oh, Flatout looks great, but it does.
But we always say VR is the medium where I'll play games that I'm not normally into the genre, and I love it because just doing it in VR is just wicked. So like, there are games I normally wouldn't care for, and I have a great time with them. So, we'll take it all. We'll take it all.
Wally reminds us that Into Black is also coming. Yes. Oh my God. I was just talking to the Binary Mill earlier in the week, and very happy that we're going to be playing that game very, very soon. And I'm trying to assemble a crew as we speak to play that game before launch, because I know that Myles won't be able to do it, and Wes definitely won't be able to do it. AJ might be able to. We'll see. Wally now Gamecast, specifically White Tiger with the Canadian $5 tip, says Happy Ace's delay was for single player and not Quest 3 port. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So he said he's happy that the reason Ace of Thunder was delayed was for more single player content and not a Quest 3 port. Lesson learned from Wanderer. Ace's graphics over Forefront shit graphics is why PlayStation VR 2 has to live on. Poor Forefront. That game is so ambitious. It's just on the wrong platform. Thanks, everybody. You guys are awesome. We're going to get out of here. It's hot. I got to turn the AC back on or open the window or
warm.
something. Woo! Boy, oh boy. Port Tornado. We're in a sweater 24/7. Anybody get a cat? If I just get the clippers out and go, like if I sneak up on her, do you think I can do that, or is she gonna hate me for the rest of her life? I don't know. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments below if anybody's done this. I just feel like she'd be way happier with less fur, but I don't want to speak for her. I know I'd be happier with less fur, Myles. That's for sure. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. You guys are awesome. Thanks for supporting the channel, whether you do it over on patreon.com/withoutparole over here by being a member or tipping during the show. It all means the world to us. It keeps the lights on, and these lights can get expensive, so we appreciate it. But even if you don't support the channel financially, that's always very secondary. We're just happy that you're here. We're happy that you're part of the community. And so if you're shooting the shit right here in the chat, that's awesome. If you're hanging out in Discord, that's awesome as well. Or maybe you're sitting back watching the show, not saying a goddamn word. We know you're out there, and we love you just as much. Happy Friday, Myles.
Happy Friday, Brian.
Let's go. Dan Kiefer with the $5 tip says, "You the cat and Tornado and Myles, and I only get so much text, so I'm done."
And we're done too.
Well, actually, it's Wednesday, Myles. I'm not sure if you're familiar with how the proceedings go on Wednesday, but every Wednesday we take a look back into the past and see what was happening.
Oh yeah, on
right?
this day,
right? We listen. Just because I have a different co-host doesn't mean we can just flip the script. We have to.
Woo, 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 woo.
That's right.
Is that the theme tune?
Memories. Woo, 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 woo.
Misty watered colored memories of the way we suffered, just like we did in this week back in Sirens on My End, August 9th, 2021. Jesus, that was so long ago. I have no idea what this says. Okay, so back in 2021 we were asking the very, very, I think, relevant question, which is still relevant today: are hybrid games the future of VR? The answer is yes.
What do we think?
Yes.
What do we think? Maybe.
Yes. The answer is still the same as it was then, but we just thought that everyone else was on board with it sooner. The answer is abso-fucking-lutely. The future of VR are hybrid games, and I think we're going to see a lot more of that over the next few years, and over especially when for the PlayStation 6 rolls around. What do you? I mean, I don't think anything's changed, Myles. Do you?
I don't know.
You work for Flatout VR. The answer is yes.
Are we now in the future?
No. No.
Nope. I don't know. I'll speak to Flatout VR Studios and see what they say.
Perfect. Well, that was good for a laugh. Good night, everybody. We love you all. Don't forget, it's Wednesday. Bye.
Wednesday. Bye.